position. You can just have a soft gaze or your eyes can gently close, but you want to bring your attention inward to the breath. In your position, you want to be seated straight. You're not tensing your back, but you're not curving your spine. You can bring your hands to heart center, or you can have your hands gently on your legs. And bring your attention to the breath as you inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. Bring your focus to filling your belly, your diaphragm, with a deeper, bigger breath than you may be used to taking. But still gently, not forcing anything. And you can even put one hand on your belly, one hand by your heart, and try to feel that hand that's on your belly expanding with your belly. Just continue to breathe. Two more breaths. Good. And now try to stay inside, keeping your focus within, allowing whatever else is going on to happen, but not to interfere with you and this time we have together. So if you are on a bed or a floor, you're going to bring your legs out straight in front of you. And if you're in a chair, you can keep your legs folded, but try to bring them out a little bit more. We're going to inhale, hands at heart center, bringing our hands up above our shoulders. And let your right hand take your left wrist and gently pull it up and slightly bend over to your right side. Inhale back to center and switch. Up and over. Just letting the body know we're going to start to do this. Inhale up. Gently stretch over, keeping the chest open and the side open. And again, inhale at center, up and over, exhale. Inhale at center, up and over. And from here, your hands are both evenly up in the air. You're going to inhale, stretch the spine and reach over towards your legs, your ankles, and let your hands just fall where they naturally fall. Let your head and neck relax. Take 2 breaths here. And gently curl up vertebrae by vertebrae. Arms up again, upward salute. Extend the spine, reach. See if you can come a little bit further, or just where it feels right for you today. You don't need to push yourself, but I just want you to feel that you're stretching. 2 breaths here. Slowly curl up vertebrae by vertebrae. So now you're leaving one hand by your side, so it could be your right hand by your side. And your left hand now is going to come up and over, and we're going to do a gentle curve. That elbow, that's the hand on your side, is going to bend gently. And you're getting a deeper curve here. And then come up back to center. This hand comes down. The opposite hand comes up and over, letting that elbow bend on your left arm. And breathe. Let's do that again. At your own pace, each time trying to get a little bit more length. Inhale. Exhale. And then again, hands both up into upward salute. Lower the shoulders. Extend the spine. Reach forward. Kind of hinging that back. You're not curving the back yet. And then let everything collapse, falling onto your legs. Curving up. Hands at heart center. Coming up into upward salute. Extend the spine. Stretch. Exhale as you slowly curve. Good. Once you're seated back upright, let's rotate those shoulders backwards. Really tuning in to how they feel. If you're hearing crackles and pops. And rotate forward. Now behind your back, you're going to take your hands and clasp your fingers. And then you're going to push the hands away, opening up the chest. And breathe. And then hands back to heart center. One deep breath here. So now if you're seated, we're going to come to tabletop. If you're on a bed or a mat. And if you're on a chair, you can do tabletop just with the top half of your body. So in tabletop, I hope you can see me, you want your wrist aligned with the shoulders. You want your knees aligned with your hips. Spread the fingers wide. And just for a moment as you're breathing, find what tension you feel in this posture. You don't want to be weighing down on your hands. You want to really be lifting yourself up with your torso, holding yourself up, and gently resting on the mat. So on the next inhale, you're going to bend your head, bringing your chin to your chest, and then curving the spine, pulling in the belly. Exhale, arch, opening up the chest and look up. When we do this, our toes come to the mat. So now, again, the tops of our feet are on the mat. You're going to inhale. We're going slow and steady, trying to really get a meaningful stretch in the spine. And then opening up the chest. Again. And one more time. Good. Now in this position, you're going to take your left hand and with your gaze, you're going to gently look up as your hand goes to the ceiling. And then we're going to take that hand behind the opposite wrist and you're going to come down, thread the needle. You're bringing your shoulder to the mat and your head, and breathe. 2 breaths here. On the next inhale, you're bringing that arm back up, reaching up high, gazing, and then bringing it back to the mat. So now you're going to take the opposite hand, inhale, twist, reach. Exhale, gently bring that hand behind the wrist, bringing your shoulder and head gently to the mat, and breathe. And again, you're going to bring that hand back up to the ceiling, twisting, gazing upward, and then bringing it back to the mat. So from here, we're going to come up into downward dog. You're coming into a V, your feet are hip distance, your hands are in line with your shoulders, and you're going to gently Bring one heel up and the opposite heel up, feeling the stretch in the legs. And on the next inhale, you're bringing the left leg up, and we want to stretch the hip flexors here. So make sure your hip is not turning out, but you do want to feel that leg extended and that stretch in that leg. And on the next inhale, you're going to bring it all the way up in front, and you can use your hand to guide your foot. And you can stay leaning over your leg. The purpose of this is to really get this hip flexor stretch. You can come to your high lunge stance. If you have something near you, you can use a chair for balance. And you just want to breathe into that back leg stretch. These hip flexors really need to be stretched. So on the next breath, lift up higher on the ball of the back foot and hold that and exhale. And depending where your foot is placed, you may want to bring it in a little bit. You're going to bring that heel down on the back foot, straighten the front leg, bringing the foot, the heel rests on the mat and the toes face up. And then you're going to gently come forward to stretch that hamstring in the front leg. And breathe. Coming up again, you're going to come up on the ball of the back foot, bend that front leg, and now we're doing that hip flexor stretch again. I can't say that word today. For those of you that want to, you can bring your arms overhead. But the purpose of this is really in the legs for me tonight. And then again, coming up on the balls of the foot, flattening out the back foot, straightening the front leg, and then leaning forward, getting that nice stretch in the leg. And then back up to standing. So now the arms do come overhead. We forward fold, placing your right and left hand down on the mat. You're going to bring that leg back and come back into downward dog and breathe. Really try to feel the stretch in the legs. Head's going towards your quads. Your tailbone is up to the ceiling. Arms are stretching. And on the next inhale, bring that right leg up, or the opposite leg that you were just using. Feel the stretch in that leg. You can flex that foot if you want more of a stretch in the calf. And come up on the ball of the foot on the mat. And then on that next inhale, you're going to bring your foot all the way up to meet where your hands are. You want the toes and the fingers aligned. And you can stay here, you can come up to here, you can hold a chair, you can bring your arms up. That knee is bent, it's aligned with the ankle, and you really feel that hip flexor stretch. Breathe into that stretch. Check in with your spine. You can be flat this way, but if you are upright, you want to make sure you're not arching that back. And now coming up on the ball of the back foot, I need to be a little closer, and you're going to flatten the back foot, straighten the front leg, and come into a nice front stretch. Using your breath, then coming up on the ball of the foot, bending the leg, coming into that hip flexor stretch again, high lunge. Again, lifting up, flattening the back foot, stretching over the front leg, and breathe. And now coming back into your high lunge. Arms up overhead, forward fold, exhale. bringing the feet back into downward dog. And then gently bringing the knees down to tabletop, tops of the feet to the mat. Inhale again, coming into cat, curving the back. Exhale, arch, look up, toes to the mat. Inhale, curve, pulling in the belly. Exhale, opening up the heart. Again, inhale, focus on the breath. Exhale. Coming back to your feet and then just folding down into child's pose. I'd like you to take 2 breaths here. Find a comfortable position. If you'd like your legs a little wider, they can be. If it hurts for you to be on your knees, you can put something behind your knees, or you can extend out further. And take 2 more breaths. Just checking that everything is working. Okay. From this position, you want your hands and legs evenly placed and weighted. And you're going to bring the left leg up. So you want to bring it up higher than your hip. And then you're going to bend the leg. So we're getting that stretch in here, but we're also going to work on the glutes a little bit because we've been sitting on them all day, or some of us have been. So you're pushing that leg up, the foot up to the ceiling. You don't want the hip turning out too much. You want to try to keep it pretty much level with your other hip. And so now you're bringing the knee in closer, and then you're extending it again. You can flex that foot and hold. Inhale, bring it closer. Exhale, extend that foot, flex it and hold. And one more time. And then we're going to switch. So you come back to make sure you're evenly weighted. That foot, the other foot comes up. You can kind of have it flexed, and you're going to pulse it upward gently, feeling that stretch in the hip flexors, feeling the glute waking up. And now you're inhaling, bringing it in closer to your body, and then bringing it out. And you can either straighten it or keep a little bend, but flex the foot. Inhale, exhale, hold. Inhale, exhale, hold. Good. And now come back into child's pose, extending the arms out a little further. And take 2 breaths. Then you're going to come back to seated and gently come onto your seat, bringing your legs out in front of you. So we're coming into staff pose. You're sitting up straight, but you're not tensing your back. Your legs are straight, your feet are facing up, and your hands gently rest on the mat. And we're going to inhale and exhale as we point and flex the toes forward, flex, point forward, flex back. And on the next inhale, you're going to bring your right hand to your left leg and gently bring your left hand behind you. And you're going to look over your shoulder and get a nice twist here, sitting upright. Coming back to center, we're going to go to the opposite side. Now you're going to bring your right leg over your left. It's on the outside of your leg. And then this left hand will come to the right knee, and you're going to push yourself a little bit into a deeper twist using that back hand. You can have your arm flat or you can have it bent a little bit. And then come back to center. So check your posture as you switch legs. Inhale, and then you're going to come into a twist. Exhale. Take another breath here. And one more time. You can do the twist the way it feels the best for you, but we just want to get one more on each side. Good. So now facing center, arms come up overhead, extending the spine, reaching towards the toes. You may have a little more reach this time. Just breathe in to that stretch. If you can reach further to the toes or the bottoms of the feet, you just want to reach a little bit longer. Mostly for the leg stretch and the spine. And then let yourself fall to your legs, slowly curling up, vertebrae by vertebrae. And again. So next we're going to come down onto the mat into bridge pose. So your knees are bent. I'm not sure you can see me, so I'm going to move the camera. You're laying on your back. Let me bring you down here. Okay, so you want your feet in line with your hips. Your hands and arms are gently by your side. You're going to tighten up those abdominals, activate your abs. And on the inhale, you're lifting up your hips. Your abs are active. Your glutes are working, your quads. You want to feel this stretch. And breathe. And then come down. So now inch the heels a little closer to you, and on the next inhale you're going to rise up, press up, getting a deeper curve. 2 breaths. And lower down. You only want to do this if you don't feel any back pain when you do this, then please don't do it. On the next inhale, you're going to use your hands as well, and we're going to reach our arms up and over. You can come onto your toes if you want a deeper stretch. And gently bring those heels down. So bring those thighs towards your torso, flatten out your lower back, and you can just gently feel the spine. Give yourself a hug. Now we're going to do a glute stretch. So your right leg can come over your left knee, a little away from the knee. You lift up the left foot, and you're going to pull those legs towards you. You should feel that right glute stretch. Keep breathing into your stretches, helping the body relax. And then when you're ready, you're going to switch legs, pulling the legs towards you. And just tune into this stretch. See which side feels tighter. See if you feel tight at all. And breathe into that area, letting it relax a little bit and stretch. So from here, bring the legs all the way up. Feet are up facing the ceiling, and you can hold your legs here. So you're going to bend them a little bit and then stretch them really straight, flexing the feet. Inhale again, and then exhale as you straighten the legs. And again. And bringing those thighs towards you, flattening out the back. And letting those feet come to the mat. The knees are going to stay bent. And you're going to keep your knees together, and you're going to gently bring the knees down to one side. They could come to whichever side is working for you right now. Your head is going to gently turn in the opposite direction, and that back arm is extended out. And breathe into that back twist. Inhale, bringing knees to center. And then we're going to gently come down to the opposite side. Head turning to face the opposite direction. Feel that twist. Breathe into it. Knees back to center. Gently inch them towards you a little bit. So now we're going to do a deeper stretch. As the feet come down, that top foot comes up off the mat and it's resting on the bottom foot. Turning your head to gaze behind you. And breathe. Next inhale, knees back to center. Check your position. Bring your legs down to the opposite side and gently turn your head. And allow yourself to feel good here. Let that stretch feel relaxing. Back to center. And then I always like to just flatten out the back, give yourself a little gentle hug, or just hold your legs towards your torso. So what I was saying was,